Never usually have anything anyway.
Well, I guess that's all good. Anyway, welcome to Dare to Disagree, your weekly episodic podcast where all of us, the people that are well aware about how little we know, decide that we're gonna teach you fuckers everything you're doing wrong.
Dr. Nestor, sorry to stop you in the middle of your rant, but I hate you saying that because I know a lot of fucking shit. If you're stupid, you say you're stupid. Fuck you.
Are you smarter than Neil deGrasse Tyson, dog?
That's kind of a tall fucking order, man.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Look, let's be honest. All of us are on a podcast because we think we got some level of smarts, right?
No, I'm on here just to fuck with people. Honestly.
That's fair enough. Yeah, you are kind of the exception of the rule. But the point I'm trying to make is this, man. If I think I said this to frickin' Alone in the Dark once before. The only way I tend to realize people are smart is when they state how fucking little they know. Like, anytime I meet some dude who's like, yeah, man, I know all this shit, it's usually like, okay. I start to see a lot of holes in their game. But usually when I meet a dude who's just like, I might be wrong, but, and then they'll just drop some heavy-ass knowledge on me. It's never the dude who's like, I know this shit, this is what's going on. They always seem to be holes in their games. Is the point I'm trying to make with the rant.
We're almost 30 episodes in. If they don't think we're smart or stupid because they're RP now, then fuck them too.
Fair enough. I can't argue with that point. That's fair enough. If 30 episodes in, you can't decide. Fair enough. Anyway, so I guess I'm gonna have to change my rant. But as I was saying, until I do. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Jonathan Esther, out of California, going faceless today.
And this is Alone in the Dark in beautiful Tennessee.
Cold Conscious back this week with all the ignorance.
Well, chemical.
Ugh, just beautiful. I wish somebody would. I need to like sample Rick Ross, and every time he talks, at the end of it, just do the Rick Ross grunt.
Now I got something for you guys. Okay. Got something for our viewers, all right? A little something we talked about not long ago. Figure some shit out right here. Hold on one second. If you can blue voice me, my friend.
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
You're welcome.
Jesus.
You're welcome.
Oh, Lord.
The face. Aren't you afraid? Aren't you? You're in Tennessee, man.
I'm gonna have to own this, man.
You got the Klan. You got the
and look
Klan.
at me. The one time I'm the only person with a face on. Everybody else freaking slunk out of here. They even have a robe.
This is history.
Well, this is actually history, yo.
So this is why you be saying the fucked up stuff, because you be smoking that hookah pen.
What you're talking about over there? I'm gonna put that to the side. Anyways, America, you're very welcome. I'll be here all week.
God damn. Alright, that's enough of that mug. Jesus Christ. Anyway, aside from congratulations to Alone in the Dark for not being in the dark anymore, we're back onto the show. Alright, so this week, I had a couple of things I wanted to tackle. In case you guys had anything, of course, we're gonna get into it. But I did have something that's been bothering me a little bit. It confuses me, and it goes into a little bit of a bigger topic that I'm sure will agree. At least on some level, one of the things I'm about to bring up kind of confuses the fuck out of you. And I'm curious to hear what you guys' opinion is on why this goes down. So I was talking to someone recently that told me they had had an experience with a ghost. Now, I haven't had one of those experiences. I mean, like those conversations, not ghost experiences, but I haven't had one of those conversations in at least 6 years. And the last time I had this conversation, it was with someone who had been in a creepy situation. I was like, okay, I see where you're coming from. But this was a chick who was like, oh no, we grew up in a house with a ghost. It would slam doors and yada yada yada, yada yada yada. And I'm like, okay, why are you so certain it's a ghost? Well, cause random things would happen all over the house, you know. we'd be in the kitchen and plates. I was like, did it ever talk to you? Did plates ever move while you were eating? Like, no, nothing like that. It's only like, you would hear steps in the middle of the night on the roof or random shit like that. And I was like, what the fuck? But I couldn't understand. But it's right along with the same emotions I have with people that are like, what the fuck are wrong with Republicans? Can't they see that Democrats are right? Or people that are like, what the fuck is wrong with Democrats? Can't they see Republicans are right? And don't see the fucking holes in that logic. Because I'm like, it's 2014. Like, any knowledge is literally seconds away from anybody with a phone. At any point in time, anywhere, you can find out anything about anything that is known by man from anybody. And there are people out there still believing in ghosts, and it does not make sense to me. Now, I'm not talking about the run-of-the-mill dumb people. We know the people that like believe and are gullible and fall for random shit that they really shouldn't be falling for. But I'm talking about fairly knowledgeable people you meet. Like the chick I was talking to is in college. She's being educated, but she would say shit like that and not see the irony in the statement she's making when she's taking a science major. Like, you're talking about spirits, but you're about to do science. Don't those two thought processes conflict? But I don't know. I'm just asking, have you guys ever experienced that, and how do you feel about it? Am I like wrong for thinking these people are kind of dumb for taking that approach on shit? Because don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, don't get me wrong. I don't feel...
You guys make it hard for me not to go first. You know? I'm sitting here trying. I'm trying.
We kind of expect that now. That's why we just
kind of a
routine.
routine.
Down.
I've beaten you guys into submission on this shit, I guess. But I mean, I could understand, because I don't think it was the same girl. No, that was before your time. But I remember having a girl talk to me about how she was living in Haunted too, and she sold that shit, man. She believed that shit all to be damned. Now, to be fair, she wasn't a very bright girl, which is why I was a fan. But she totally believed that shit. I think, in all honesty, I think that if we weren't taught that this shit is ghost, maybe we would be able to look more into it and go, okay, this is what this bullshit is. You know what I mean? But you kind of grow up with, okay, if doors are slamming at night and if freaking stairs are creaking and if shit's happening like that, it's got to be a ghost. You know what I mean? It's got to be some freaking disturbed, restless beast. So you kind of taught through movies and through stories and bullshit like that to believe it when it does happen, you know?
I'm just saying, though, like 10 years ago, I'm 100% on your side. Hell, to some extent 5 years ago, I'm 100% on your side. But I'm just saying, okay, like we had this argument, me and my friend, about the UFO shit, where I was just like, look, dude, are UFOs real? I'll be honest with you, I am of a belief that they might be. It's ridiculous to think that in a universe as big as ours, there isn't someone else out there. Do we have them visiting our planet in secret? I don't know if I freaking subscribe to that notion. That's a whole other thing. But if there's life on other planets, yeah, I think the probability is in the favor of that. But I wouldn't disagree with you if you said we were the only freak accident in the universe. Sure, why not? I can't challenge that. I don't know the facts. But it's people that say shit like, oh, no, it's definitely a ghost. And I want to start off by going like, okay, we've seen fucking people do backflips onto fucking razor wires. We've seen people slide under cars and survive. We've seen people hit by trucks. We just watched the video of a skinny gangster black dude get his ass beat by cornbread white people. Like, camera phones have reinvented the game when it comes to knowing shit that we used to not be sure about, If you want to talk about racism, from the moment the Rodney King beatings came out on video, that was the end of, like, secret weird shit. It was just anything that people thought was impossible or wasn't true or was true was now documented and people can prove whether it's true or not, It's one of those things where I can tell you what's at the bottom of the ocean even though I've never been, because somebody with a camera has gone to the bottom of the ocean and filmed some shit down there that I've seen. in an age where that shit is so fucking commonplace, how can you still sit there and go, no, my experience tells me they're real? Because it's kind of like, nah, bitch, by now we'd have known. We have like 5 ghost hunter shows on TV, and not a one of them has ever fucking seen an actual ghost.
Or anything close to it.
Or even, yeah, not even. Even when they're sitting there, you hear that? You hear that? Nothing. The audience never hears any fucking thing.
People tune in every week.
Yeah, it doesn't make any fucking sense. I don't know if it's just because people have to tune in numbers, and it's one thing if you're tuning in just to fucking watch jack-offs walk around, which I'm sure people like Mike would do just to be a dick. But I'm just so confused as to why there's still people out there that believe this shit.
Because people just naturally, human beings, I think, just want to know everything, just want to believe things. Especially here in America, people just want to believe things that are already not there. You know, want to believe more than what it is. This is why I'm single, because you know, females seem to tend to believe more. You know, that there's more going on than what it actually is. And sometimes they're right, but most of the time they're wrong.
They think you're a fixer-upper?
I'm just saying. This is why, because girls just, you know, they just like they just want to believe shit. Yeah, exactly. They just want to believe shit that's not there. I know he's good in you.
I saw you look at that puppy and not kick it.
It's just exactly. It's just like, you know, it's gotta be. It's something more in you, and people just want to believe more than what it is, and this is what gets everybody in trouble.
I think, and I attribute it I think that's why you, me, and Slow Chemical love the WWE, because one thing I love about that company is they fuck with American emotions so hard. So they're so good at looking at your stupid ass shit or your stupid ass beliefs and kind of throwing it back in your face. Like right now, it's a little different than what we're talking about, but it's on the same like concept. They have this character. Who's that Russian chick? Yeah, exactly. They have this Russian girl that comes out and does this huge speech stating facts about how America is falling behind. And everything she says is factually accurate about how America is falling behind. Like on Monday, she had a whole thing about how America is economically behind China. So technically China is number 1 and America is number 2. And she was like,
labor, man.
Yeah, and she was like, and that's why we love our leader, Vladimir Putin. And she put this huge picture of Vladimir. And of course, the whole crowd is booing and all angry. But she hasn't said anything wrong or insulting yet. She's just stated facts. And you can't challenge it. And WWE is so good. They did it with her. They did that shit with what's his name? God damn it, I'm trying to remember that whole incident with Brock Lesnar's guy, Brock Lesnar's manager. Why am I fucking blanking? Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is a master at doing shit like that. In fact, Chael Sonnen, a personal hero of mine and Alone in the Darks and Slow Chemicals, and Cold Consciences, specifically has named Paul Heyman as one of his idols as far as public speaking. Just because that guy is a master at telling you shit you can't deny that will piss you off. But telling it in a way where he makes it, you know he's being an asshole, but he makes it seem like, no, I'm just saying the truth, man. Don't kill the messenger. I'm just stating facts, you know?
I'm not the bad guy here.
Yeah, I'm not the bad guy. You guys are for letting this go down. I'm just throwing it in your face for you to see. I'm trying to help you by telling you how little your dick is, you know, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So it's just.
Hold on, time out. We gotta stop the entire show for this motherfucker here. 15 minutes late. Please welcome to the show, Andrew Calhoun out of Baltimore. Thank you.
Calhoun.
Is that one of those little teddy bears off of Star Wars? I can't.
Yo, we're talking about ghosts today. It's the wrong show for you to be wearing a freaking white hoodie and looking like death.
Maybe you can't hear us.
Can you hear us, man?
The headphones go inside the what?
You gotta signal to that guy. Let him know he's being heard. Can you hear us there, Mr. Calhoun? Yeah, we noticed. Jesus Christ. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Calhoun is having technical difficulties. We're gonna carry on the conversation until he gets up to par. Anyway.
Back to Ghost.
Yeah, I was just saying. I don't understand that concept. I don't understand people that believe it. I really, and it's not me being a cynic, because I know the big thing that people do is people become cynics and they confuse that shit for maturity. Like they become all of those like, yeah, man, the world is fucked. We're all gonna die, and they're like, no, I'm just looking at the world in a real way. And that's their excuse for not doing shit or for doing bad shit, because they're like, we're fucked anyway. That's not the point I'm coming from. If you're a person who's had a personal experience and you really believe it to be true, but you're aware enough to say stuff like, look, I can't prove that this is true or not, but this happened to me and I believe this is what it was. I'm all behind that. But then you run into these people that are like, how the fuck don't you believe in ghosts? You know, how the fuck don't you believe in an afterlife? I'm like, because I refuse to believe that people die and then just hang around watching other people have sex. Kind of messed up.
I'm pretty sure our old cold conscience would do that shit, though.
I just can't. Lord have mercy. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. I'd be on top of you, whispering in your ear, giving you tips like, "Hey, you know you should do this."
Wait a minute. Would you really hang around after you died and just look at people having sex? Because you know you would have to watch old sex too, right? You'd see all these young kids in the bushes, and eventually you'd just be like, I wonder what 80-year-old sex is like.
Yeah, I guess a good point. I'd take that bullet.
I remember one of that.
That dude's like, it's worth the risk.
Yeah, it's worth the risk.
Speaking of that shit, that's why Ghost was one of the most bullshit movies I'd ever seen. Nobody ever has. Have you guys seen that movie Ghost with what's his name? Whoopi Goldberg and Patrick Swayze. Yeah.
Let me see if I'm gonna catch what you're about to say, because I thought about it immediately. Okay.
The Whoopi Goldberg is actually having sex with that chick.
Yes, banging that bitch.
I was like,
in my thoughts.
They made that movie seem like Patrick Swayze and that bitch were having sex. I keep calling her a bitch. But they make it seem like Patrick Swayze and that fucking lady was having sex. But the truth is, it was the first, as far as I can tell, the first lesbian movie scene in history.
And it was goddamn Whoopi Goldberg. Come on. Come on, America.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean,
A little confused that nobody ever brought that up. No, I was so confused because I was like, the first time I saw it, I was like, wait, that's not him. He's possessing Whoopi Goldberg's body to do all these things. So, yeah, she's screwing Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. That was my immediate thought about there. And I was wondering, like, are they going to cut back and show these two? Those years? Hell no.
No, they kept that shit Swayze.
Same sex? Hell no.
I love it, though, because I never heard about it. Never heard about it until I got older. And then I had to bring it up in conversations. Like, so Whoopi Goldberg had sex with that girl, right? They're like, no, it was Patrick Swayze. I'm like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but it was Whoopi Goldberg's body, right?
Yeah, her
and they would be like,
when she woke up when she woke up after that, she was the one sticky.
And remember, the movie made a point that whenever he exhausted energy, like possessing exhausted him. Yeah. So after he got done possessing, think about that. Not only do you possess and then you bust a nut, you're done. That
motherfucker.
So you know that Whoopi Goldberg woke up in the most either comfortable or uncomfortable of situations.
Probably smoked a cigarette with them black lips.
Yeah, her dreadlocks were all in that white girl's mouth. I feel terrible for that white girl.
Yeah, she had to keep her eyes shut tight, and that's what.
Gotta imagine hard. Anyway, but that added to the rash of these new movies like the Haunting and the Conjuring and all these movies that are quote unquote based on a true story. And I constantly get in conversation with people where I gotta bring up the fact, yeah, dude, it's based on a true story in the sense that somebody said it someday. You know, you shouldn't get too, because I've literally had people bring up in conversation, look, man, they wouldn't make the movie if it wasn't real. and I have to go, okay, poor naive child. Let me explain to you what Hollywood is.
Let me explain to you what reality TV looks like.
Yeah. Let me. By the way, I
story.
told you guys about my experience with the Real Housewives of Orange County, right?
Yeah, you said they came in and they told everybody to be quiet so that they could hear these.
But the thing that
talk.
blew me away is that even though I knew I was fake, I didn't realize just how fake those. Because you understand as a person with half a brain already, like, yeah, reality TV is staged, you know. But you don't realize how staged it is until the light and camera guys come in 4 hours earlier to set everything up. Then you're like, there's no mother.
People kind of considered it staged, like these people who are in the show are actors, but the situations are real.
Well, no. I always considered it staged, like they're not even actors. It's just they're kind of going around their shitty lives, and people with cameras are just following them to an extent. So a little bit more like real world type stuff. So you knew, like, okay, they're not being natural, was what I always assumed. You know, I didn't assume that there was a script or anything, but I always assumed that they're not. It's impossible to be natural in that scenario. But I didn't realize when I saw that, it hit me that every shot I've ever seen in a reality show, for it to look as good as it did, they needed a cameraman, they needed lights that were properly placed, and all this shit that takes hours and hours and hours to set up. Every goddamn shot I ever seen. In fact, our favorite website released a thing recently about The Biggest Loser. And the fact that The Biggest Loser, even whenever you watch The Biggest Loser, whenever you're looking at an episode where like some dude is being lazy or not working hard, most of the time they're showing you like hour number 3 of them working out. When these people are exhausted and done, and this is the clip they're cutting in to say, oh, this person's a lazy piece of shit. When you're like, nah, he's been working out for 3 motherfucking hours. Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, I read that same article. That shit was pretty bad.
Yeah,
about one lady was so nice and sweet, then she pissed off the camera crew. And
so they made her look evil on tape. Yeah, so much, like, so nice that she gave her kidney to, was it her kidney? Yeah, her kidney to someone else that she didn't know to help him, and they made her look like an evil bitch on the show. It's the most insane shit. But I don't understand how people. I feel like the people that believe in ghosts are the same people that believe in like reality TV and will argue that it's real, but will sit there and badmouth wrestling, which is obviously fake, but at least has the honesty to tell you, hey, we have a plot, but these athletes are talented, healthy, and amazing enough for you to see past the plot and admire the theater of it.
Bro, you don't understand how many arguments I get into trying to explain, because these are grown-ass men I'm telling you about right here. Grown-ass men watching Love and Hip Hop. Shit like that. You know, when I bring it up, I bring up like, hey, you guys watch Love and Hip Hop and Bad Girls Club and shit like that. It's like, no, time out. I don't watch Bad Girls Club. It's all the same shit. It's all the same shit. It's just like you saying that doesn't make it any less, you know, it's still fucking terrible, and it's just, you don't understand how many arguments I get trying to explain to them that it's fake. You know, now, but I give credit to these people. Most of the people I argue with about these reality TV shows watch wrestling too. But for some reason they believe these reality TV shows are real for some reason. Even my mother sometimes gets caught into it. You know, it's like, you know, well, you understand, you know, these people have problems every day like Ma. No. Every fucking day, every episode there's somebody cheating on somebody, sleeping with somebody. Every episode with the same people.
It's terrible. Can't trust nobody. Can't trust reality TV. Shit.
I don't know. I just didn't get it. I thought maybe you guys would have like an alternate point of view, as maybe one of you guys would be like, well, at least this is the point of view. But okay,
Here, I'll tell you. I got something for you, man. Because I remember this, and to this day I still don't know what the fuck happened. Right? Like, it was me. One of my uncles married this Mexican lady, right? And he was a real piece of shit, but she was a real sweetheart, right?
Is this a theft story?
Theft?
Did she steal shit from him? Is that what you're about to say as a spiritual thing?
No, man, no. I'm talking about ghost here, right?
Oh, yeah, just make sure.
So me and this cousin, I can't remember how old we are, but we're not young, but we're still probably 11, 12 years old. You know what I mean? Me being a little older.
Mm.
And there were some other kids in this thing, and we were freaking digging around. Like, they had this whole storeroom, so we were trying to dig around, trying to find something to entertain them. Like, all of the shit in this house was for, like, this 3- and 4-year-old kid, We were trying to find something to freaking actually have some actual fun with. So we're digging around, found a couple little things. I think we found some freaking, like a crossbow or some shit that we were going to fuck with, something like that. And as we're in this room, we had closed it so that the mother didn't find us digging through their shit, obviously, because they didn't want us playing with a fucking crossbow, for one, And as we're digging through it, all of a sudden we hear someone come down the steps. We're like, oh, fuck, we're about to get busted. You know what I mean? Except this person sounds a whole lot heavier than the 2 Mexican women who are in this house. Both of them are like at $1.15, $1.25, and this guy's walking down these steps like freaking, these things are about to break, right?
God damn.
All of a sudden somebody starts yelling through the door, "Who are you?" And it's a guy's voice. And we're like, what the fuck just happened? The only people in this house is me, my cousin, those 2 women, and then 2 young kids, right? Everybody there has a freaking Mexican accent but us. This guy didn't. He sounded like a white guy. So we were talking, hey, man, we're with freaking, I can't remember the girl's name now, Angelica. We're with Angelica, she's babysitting us, stuff like that. Who are you? Get out of my house. I'm like, we're not in your house, man. Arguing back and forth with this guy, and finally we open the door and there's fucking nobody there. And we go through the house looking for a person. Like, who the fuck just did that to us? Nobody throughout the whole house. Just those 2 women, just the 2 kids. We talked to them. There was no. Of course, now they're freaking out, thinking there's somebody in the house. They search the house. We find nothing, right? The next day, we go out freaking talking to the neighbor next door. I think he had some dogs or something like that we're out there playing with. And we told him about it. Now, I don't know if this guy was fucking with us. He may have been. But he told us somebody had died in that same room we're in, an old fucking white guy. Now, to this day, I still don't know. Somebody may have been fucking with us. I can't imagine it because those Mexican girls don't have really any white friends. That was one of the reasons that freaking guy was a scumbag, is because he was a white guy and he kept that girl pretty sheltered, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they obviously would have heard that shit. It's not like we were very far away. So why the fuck they didn't hear that shit, I don't fucking know. But to this day, I don't know what the fuck happened. And I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe none of that shit. Maybe somebody just played a real good fucking game on us, but if they did, they pulled it off real good, man.
But here's the point. The way you led that conversation was, I don't know what happened. And you're willing, and that's the point, you're willing to admit, nah, man, I got no fucking clue what's going on.
Exactly.
That's all I ask of people. I'm just admit you have no clue. It's not that complex. I'm not asking you to give up pride or anything. Just admit you don't know what the fuck happened instead of coming at me like, nah, ghosts are real. Let me tell you a personal experience. Bitch!
Indeed, ghosts are real. Ghosts of my exes.
And here's the thing that's kind of a lie, because I get that a lot out here, right? Because we're in the Bible Belt, people not too happy. Well, there's either 2 ways they take it when they find out I'm freaking not religious. Is either A, not very happy about it, like how the fuck could you not, or B, they're trying to convert you to being religious, right? Which, I understand. They're trying to save your everlasting soul. It's not, I don't really take offense to when that shit happens, you know what I mean? But anyways, one of the things people always tell me is, because I know God is real. I know God is real because I could feel him in my heart. He's talking to me. you know, or such and such happened, and if there was no God, I would have never made it through there. My thing to them is, okay, I understand you really believe, you know, that there's a God talking to you. I'm not going to freaking argue with your point there. But do you really think that there's maybe not somebody who believes in a totally different God that believes the exact same thing you do? That there's God talking to him? That God saved his life here? Or freaking whatever, the Shinra? That's Indian God, right? That's a totally different thing. You don't think that there's an Indian out there who thinks that Shinra's talking to him, guiding his life, saved his life somewhere? So if that person believes that much in a God that you don't believe in, do you think maybe the reverse might be true? That guy's not wrong, but you are?
Man, they don't even give that type of stuff the time of day. Like, the way I handle Jehovah's Witness or Mormons when they come to my door these days is real simple. When they come to my door, I tell them this. I'm like, listen, I'll listen to everything you have to say, and I'll actually come to the events and all of that on one condition. You tell me before you walk in this house that you'll also allow me to convince you that you're wrong. If your answer is no, then why should I bother listening to you? You're not open to any suggestions I might give. Why in the hell should I be open to your suggestions?
Jehovah's Witnesses are really funny about that.
Hold on. Go ahead. What you say?
That's some commendable shit because you actually opened the door.
Oh, come on, man. Have you ever talked to Jehovah? I'll be on the real. This was an Alone in the Dark idea that I just kind of ganked. Because he had a fantastic... I'll let him explain. He had a fantastic storyline with these people.
You're talking about Mormons, though.
Yeah.
Something I'll give credit to Mormons, though, is almost 100% of all the Mormons I've met have been some really nice motherfuckers.
Mm.
Just all of them have been really nice people. You know what I mean? So I will give them credit for that, even though they do believe in some funky shit. You know what I mean? Like, okay, somebody who believes in just, you know, run-of-the-mill Christianity, it's really hard to argue with stuff that, hey, I'm saying this shit happened, 8,500 years ago? It's really hard to you to definitively prove, no, that's bullshit. Because they're gonna, you can't really do that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, the whole Genesis thing could be thrown on the bus, but, you know, saying Jesus was here and said this, you can't definitively prove, no, Jesus wasn't there, man. No, I mean, he never said this shit. You can't do that. But with some of the claims that Mormons made, like American Indians are freaking ancestors of Israelites, that turned out to be complete fucking bullshit, and they just kind of sidestepped that whole fucking thing. Like, I mean, that's so new of a religion that you can go back and say, no, dude, you're full of shit, man. Here's what happened right here. So that's an issue with them being so new. I still give them credit. I mean, whatever. They've always been nice guys. But yeah, what happened there is I actually had a friend, Jack. We talked about him before on the show.
Yeah,
he's a crazy freaking black guy that I knew. He lived next to me, and I used to let him come over all the time because he had this mean fucking wife and mother-in-law that he lived with. So he would come over to me to hang out just to, you know, play some video games, smoke some cigars, get the fuck away from all those women, right?
Right.
Eventually, he's like, man, because he was Mormon, a black Mormon. This is like a damn unicorn, right?
That sounds like a joke.
Well, just so you know, that's the least strange thing about Jack.
Yeah. Jack had many issues.
Throwing that way. Just so you get the sense of who this guy was. That's the least strange thing about the guy.
But he wanted me to meet with the missionaries, right? Those are the people that come to your door. Just at least give them some time to talk, man. So, like, okay, so missionaries,
hello there.
missionaries came over, and they were just some young kids. They're like, those missions they put those kids on pretty fucking rough, man. Here you are, you just get out of high school. Either you or your family got to save up 10 grand. You give that to the church, and that 10 grand is your living expenses for 2 years while you're on a fucking mission. They got to live off that money. That's why they're always going to some people's freaking house for dinner, Yeah, one, so they could freaking preach to them. Two, so they could get fucking dinner because they're trying to live off 10 grand for 2 years. So that's just pretty rough. And they were some nice kids, and I didn't really want to fuck. I mean, they're too young, man. They're like 18, 19-year-old kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't know what their dick
I
feels
let
like.
them preach. I let them freaking tell me that, you know, their Western Jesus was the right Jesus. I don't really. But then they brought their priest one time. I said, okay, this is a grown fucking man. You have to deal with this shit now. So he came over. Jack was over. It was me, my wife, you know. And so we're sitting there talking. I think he's going over tithing, stuff like that. And so finally I'm like, okay, man. I'm like, well, you know, I do have one question, you know, that's really been bothering me about this whole thing. Why did the Mormons hate black people for so long? And this poor guy just got, I mean, and he was a nice guy too, but I couldn't just let it go. And I can't, it's not that we hated black people, it's just that, you know, at the time, there was, you know, God's order about them, and then he changed it, so now we have, I'm like, no, let's go back. Because now he was running to, you know, nowadays, they could come in. You know, they can't really get very far, but yeah, they could come in, we'll take their money. So I'm like, no, I'm like, this is you know, you're saying here that you guys were just kind of looking at it like, you know, oh, we wish we could do something, but God said no. But your president, who is their current prophet, didn't say that. He said that black people were beasts in the field or something along those lines. They need to be treated like animals. That isn't just, oh, these are poor humans cursed that I can't do anything for. That's talking shit.
Yeah.
You know, the presidents aren't perfect, so they have a direct line to God, and they can't get that shit right? Like, this guy has the phone, a red phone that calls God, and he can't figure that shit out. This is really, you know, where we're going with this one. So needless to say, you know, we dealt, I went to their church one fucking time, and I regretted it the entire fucking time. Okay? That was.
Sounds like a Clippers game.
But it was just, I mean, shit I didn't want to hear. And then I open up the book, you know, they give you a pamphlet, you know, with the history, and immediately here's all the presidents, and it is just white people as far as the eye could see. You know? So this is it, you know, the God who made all these races, all this, the only people who could be president just happens to be old white people. You know, like, the first one, you know, because, well, not with Mormons, never mind, that's more Islam, but the other prophets back in ancient history were all Israelites, Jews, and all of a sudden Mormonism comes around and fuck all those guys, it's going to be white people. They look like a white picket fence, man. But they were real friendly people, you know. Those Jehovah's Witnesses are a bunch of fuckers, though. Like, I used to them before, and I'm pissed at them now because I had a friend who was in there, and if you, let's say you're a kid and you grow up in that shit, and you grow up and you decide, wait, this is some stupid shit, I'm going to go ahead and not do this anymore. They make your family have no contact with you ever again. No family, none of your friends who are probably all Jehovah's Witnesses too, because they fucking are like goddamn, what are those called? Communes almost.
Yeah.
You know, making you hang out. All your friends have to abandon your family, everything, punish the shit out of you. Because fuck you. You left
because their religion is obviously right, and it can withstand that kind of shit, you know? One doubter
That's
is
the
no threat. That's why they have to ostracize you.
If you read their pamphlets, it says you need to be able to question your religion, your beliefs, and, you know, question everything that's not until you're a fucking Jehovah's Witnesses. You better not question a goddamn thing again. That better be the last question, and it starts and ends with Jehovah. That's
what I question is why the fuck they knock on my door at such an early time. They fucked around and caught me after Easter, and I know I shouldn't answer the fucking door, but my mother said she was coming home. And sure enough, I had all the crust in my eye, and they just at the door, hey, something, Jesus. I'm like, fucking God damn it. they was like, do you believe in God? No.
I like that your response to God is goddamn.
Yeah, because it's funny too, because my father was just sitting in the back laughing, and my mother, she was coming home at the time, and she was just in the car laughing their asses off. Now, the people who don't know me, I go to BCCC, which was not the best college in the world. And it was like, do you think you have any time for us to talk to you? I was like, no, man, I go to University of Maryland, College Park. I'm actually leaving today. So I'm like, I actually leave today now as you mentioned it because I'm getting my stuff. He's like, oh, okay, well, if you ever have a time, just come. I'm like, yeah, sure. Since left, I threw that fucking card in the trash, the pamphlet, all that shit in the trash. It didn't deserve to come in the house. I didn't recycle. I just threw it in the fucking trash.
See, I'd be afraid to throw shit like that in the trash. Like when they hand me the pamphlets or the cards, I just pass them off to somebody else. I'm like, God bless, and just walk off. I don't like get cursed or some shit.
You gonna wake up tomorrow with a tiny head?
Trust me, if I've been going for this long, you're not cursed.
Mr. Calhoun is in the mirror like, oh my God, my Ravens fitted.
It still is fitted.
No. I look in the mirror and be like, oh shit, it's Biggie. Wait, no, that's me.
Then again, you never know. We might actually, that now you said it, I might be cursed. God might have a sense of humor. I'm realizing he hasn't punished me yet, and I feel like he's just piling it all up.
If you feel that way, man, ask Alone in the Dark how long I've been telling him that karma is gonna catch. That motherfucker has been testing karma since I met him like 8 years ago.
I don't know what you're talking
I keep telling him one day, karma, dog, we've been through so much, just me with you. Like, this is how crazy Alone in the Dark is. He's told me so many stories about his life that are so crazy, but just based on the shit him and I have been through, I have to believe them older stories.
I know what you're talking about.
Like we've been through so much.
When I was like doing that charity and helping those.
Whatever the fuck. But what I'm saying is, this how crazy. Just based on the crazy shit I've experienced with this guy, I have to believe his prior crazy stories, because like 90% of the crazy shit I've been through in my life were with that fucker right there.
I know what you're talking about.
Literally, there is my life post Alone in the Dark and my life pre Alone in the Dark. That's how ridiculous my life is, man.
Like, you actually like 1996 AD.
For real, yo. Before I met him, if somebody was like, yo, you ever done something crazy? Like, nah, man. I'm a pretty regular guy. I don't do much crazy shit. After I met him, I was like, well, yeah, I have been on the back of a truck with bullets bouncing off of it because we threw rounds in the trash. Or yeah, I've thrown a grenade on the floor in a room with 2 other men and kicked it around before running out of there. Yeah, I've done that shit.
That shit ruined my shoes, man. I had those shoes for years.
It is funny. That shit, we tried to get those things off that shoe. It never left. It was a smoke bomb for people, by the way. But
okay.
what I was no, it was a smoke bomb. But what I was gonna say is I didn't mess with them like Cold Conscience did with the throwing the card away, or Alone in the Dark did with just beating them down with logic. I did something that I think was a little worse. I would wait for them to show up because they show up either Saturday or Sunday. So on Saturday or Sunday, I'd have a video game geared up and breakfast cooked. And when they come in, I'd set some shit like Rock Band out there. And then while we're talking, I'd give the Rock Band controller to one of them and just watch temptation set in. Them motherfuckers never wanted to leave, man. There's nothing like playing Marvel vs. Capcom by yourself and then handing a controller to your Jehovah's Witness like, yeah, I know, we'll keep talking, just play while we talk. Yeah. And then before you know it, we're no longer talking, we're just playing. and then I bring bacon around, they start eating bacon, they start playing, and eventually there's always one goody two-shoe who grabs one dude's arm and like, yo, we gotta go to the next house. And he's like, no, after this game. And I'm like,
no, Freebird, man.
Just after this game, man. Just after this game, let's finish this. And like, as soon as it's done, then my job would be to get it to that fucking stick in the mud dude. Just like, no, all right, look, it's not fair that he's the only one that played. You play too. Look, if you don't play, you're insulting me in my house. That's just rude. I wouldn't be a bad host. You need to take this controller and get your ass whooped by Gambit. So Jesus. My method was a little different.
That is a lot. I just rather just fucking when they come to the door now, just fucking have Highway to Hell leaking out my headphones.
But I will say this though, they got me recently because the new guy that comes down is this Spanish dude and his son is like 10, and he walks around with his son doing this shit. So I'm like, oh man, I can't just emasculate or mess with this dude in front of his kid. Yeah,
that's how they get you. That's
so
how they
now
get you.
I'm doing it the way you do it, Cold Conscious. I just take the pamphlet and never show up.
That's kind of what the Scientologists did to me, because I remember I was going to. This is when
you met one?
Yeah, I was going to, and I didn't realize it till later. So I was going there, and there was this little booth set up with a damn, like this little machine that had handles on it, right? And she was gorgeous. So she stopped me. Yeah, and I stopped.
She stopped you before she stopped you?
Yep, and I was like, hey, what's going on? You know, she's like, oh, you know, I'm just, you know, doing this stress test thing. So I figured it was, you know, some funky shit like that. Put your hands on it. She's like, think about something stressful, and you see a little thing ping. I'm like, yeah, you know, so I don't remember what the fuck it was about. And she gave me a book, and I'm sitting there talking to her, and she finally sent me on my way. And I look at this book, and it's Dianetics, which I'm like,
Apology, son.
It's Dianetics, and I read through like a chapter of it. I'm like, this is a whole bunch of bullshit. What is this? And that's when I found out that's like Scientologist freaking intro material. Never saw that girl again, but she got me real quick though.
I gotta love it. You gotta love any religion that is started by a dude who is quoted to have said, I really wish I could start a religion. That's where the money is.
I talked to a girl who was his granddaughter.
What?
She barely knew him, but she knew, you know, of course she was raised by her dad, and she had some stories that will make your fucking skin crawl, man.
But she wasn't part of that whole thing, right?
Yeah, she was for a while until finally, I think her dad ended up dying or something like that, and so she managed to break free, but she was in a terrible condition when I met her, and she had some stories that just were, I mean, we're talking some bloody, torture fucking stories, you know what I mean?
I mean, Scientology by itself, by default, is just a fucking slimy, fucked up religion, man. It's one of those religions where, one, it's new enough that nobody should walk into Scientology going, oh yeah, that was done by somebody who's not from this planet.
Yeah.
You know, it's new enough that we know the person who started it. Like, he's probably, was L. Ron Hubbard alive in the 80s?
No, I think he was done before that.
Yeah, but a guy who died recently enough that we know almost everything about the dude, and he started a religion, man.
No, he died in '86. Yeah,
look at that. So he must have known I was born. So it's one of those things where it's just, we know this dude. Okay, he probably existed within 5 years of our lifetime, and people are out there going, nah, this dude knew the truth.
He was a god.
Are you for real?
He never died. He transcended his existence.
Oh yeah. He's now hanging out with Xenu. Is that who that is?
No, man. See, people think that Xenu's their god. He was actually
he's not. He's the bad guy, right?
Yep.
Yeah. If I recall the story correctly, he's the one that comes in to harvest the souls.
If you think that that's some fuckery, you need to look up the Mormons, what they actually believe, man.
Oh, I did. That is also fuckery.
That's some ridiculous shit.
But here's the thing about the Mormons. At the very least, man, you can accuse the Mormons for bad interpretation. You know, you could say they took a religion that was already there and then spun the wheel on what they wanted to fucking do. But with like Scientology, it's just from the ground up one dude's story. Just one. Any religion where they tell you, nah, you can't read our Bible until you're deep undercover with our shit. That's something you should be questioning all day long, son.
Heavily.
No. You can join this bank, but before we tell you how we handle your accounts, you got to be with us for like 2 years.
2. Good Lord.
Then 2 years later, you find all your accounts go to Cuban coke lords.
Shit, mine do right now. So
yeah, let me get your opinion before we start like getting into some other stuff there, Mr. Calhoun. You never had a chance to input. The original question was, I don't understand why in 2014 there's still people that can come out and say ghosts are real. Why do you think that is?
So do you not believe in ghosts?
Oh shit.
Please tell me you do, because this will put a whole spin on this whole conversation.
Finally, somebody dares to disagree.
What?
My bad.
I don't know if I can say I do. I kind of do, but then I kind of don't, because I'm kind of in the middle on this type of thing, because you know, like, I know that there is a such thing, and there is, to some extent, you can say that there is some sort of paranormal activity. You can't agree to that much, right?
No. Here's the point. It's not the fact of whether there's paranormal activity or not. The ultimate conversation is people that go 100% on paranormal activity. See, you're doing the same thing Alone in the Dark did at the beginning of the show, which is you're presenting a logical case, which is I'm not going to tell you whether it's real or not, but I believe that there might be or there might not be. That's a completely different point. What you're doing is you're setting us up for, I'm not guaranteeing I'm saying the truth, but based on my experience, question mark, question mark. I'm talking about why are there people in 2014 with no proof standing up going, ghosts are real, son. Ghosts are real. Look, watch Ghost Hunters on Sci-Fi if you don't believe me, dog. That shit is real. Yo, they went into this house and this little girl was in the corner, and it can't be camera effects because the dude on the show said it's not camera effects. You know?
Oh, and this thing is really high.
Yeah. And you want to sit there and go, what? Come on, man. You can't honestly sit there and tell me you're 100% in on ghosts. And they look you in the eye, clutching their Bibles and their Hello Kitty purses. Yes. Yes, it's true.
Well, I would say I'm 35% on ghosts. That's all I can say, really.
Is it personal experience, or is it just what you feel, you know? Why you want in on ghosts at all?
That's a good question.
Is it just a belief, or you don't know?
I don't know.
See, that's fair. I can accept that.
But yeah, see, like, I don't know, but like, I mean, I know exorcisms are a completely different thing, but looking at exorcisms.
Hold on. You gotta repeat that. Exorcisms are completely. You kind of conked out for a second.
Yeah, I was saying exorcism. I can go ahead and say I know that exorcisms are a completely different thing as opposed to ghosts. But I would say, you know, given as how you have possessions, to a certain extent, I believe in possessions. And if you can have possessions, then I can, to an extent, say that there should be ghosts.
All right.
I watch movies. I don't know.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm going to go ahead and disagree with everything you said, but I at least can respect the way you presented. You presented in a way that I'm not saying that this is a fact. I'm saying that this is what I think. Which is what I appreciate. Is the same way I appreciate when I talk to people that believe, because I'm agnostic. I stand on the position of, I don't know. I don't know. You could be right. Buddha could be right. Muslims could be right. Who the hell am I to say they're wrong? But what I have little patience for is people who go, no, they're wrong because the Bible. And then I go, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I believe in Marvel and DC Comics. You don't see me preaching my gospel. You know,
right.
It's a whole other ballgame. I'm like, you got to calm down. If it's your belief, I'm fine with it. There is nothing wrong with being a believer. It's just, you know, put it in context. You know, you don't know. You don't know if it's real or not. You're assuming that this is true. And if it's your truth, there is nothing wrong with that. But for you to infringe on somebody else based on your truth, like the Bill O'Reillys and all that shit that say there's a war on Christianity, like, yo, you need to chill out. We don't even know if what you're saying is real. I appreciate your ability to believe in it. That's fine. Please, by all means. And for all I know, you might be right. But don't start off with a might as if it's a fact.
Right. And I had an encounter with a cab driver lady like that one time. The bitch was crazy. And I get in the car, and she's like, God is great, isn't he? And I was like, I really can't tell you much about that because I'm agnostic, so I can't really elaborate much more on that. And she was like, agnostic? What does that mean? You don't believe in Jesus? I was like, well, no, not necessarily. I'm not atheist. I'm agnostic. That just means that I don't know. And she was like, well, why do you think all these miracles happen out here in life and everything? What, you don't read the Bible? I'm just like, lady, I don't know. I'm agnostic. And like the whole car ride, she's just like spitting all this stuff about the Bible and everything, talking about, oh, how do you think miracles happen? I just keep saying to her, I don't know. I don't know. By the time I get to the stadium, because I was going to the Orioles Stadium, she was pissed off. She was like, just get out my car. Don't give me the fade. Just get out my car, you devil.
That's something that bugs me too. Oh, hold on, am I still on mute?
No, you're good. You're good. We can hear you.
That's something that bugs me too when people go, how could you not believe when, look at this fucking rainbow. Look how beautiful it is. How could you not believe? I'm like, but something you're kind of ignoring when you're looking at that rainbow is this child over here dying of leukemia. Now, that's not saying that this kid over here dying of leukemia disproves your religion, okay? That's just disproving your proof that this rainbow is here means that there's God. It doesn't make any sense. You know, the world is pretty good at balancing the good with the bad, and I'm pretty sure if you took that really into balance, the bad probably wins out by a good margin. Okay? Just because you can go to a whole level of bad when just looking at a rainbow doesn't really make up for it, okay? So that shit right there kind of bothers me. I'm not saying that this kid over here having leukemia is proof that there's no God. No, that isn't, okay? That has nothing to do with it. But just the same, this rainbow over here doesn't prove that there's fucking God either. They both have nothing to do with the fact. So calling people an idiot, yeah, you guys don't know what you're talking. How could all this beautiful shit happen if there's no God? Is kind of being real ignorant of the fact that there's a whole bunch of horrible shit happening too. So if I can't use it as proof that there's no God, you can't use this couple pretty things out here as proof that there is. You know?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's always awesome because whenever it's a rainbow or a child being born or a disease being cured, that's God. But when it's a tsunami in India or an earthquake in Japan, that's not God. That's just the Lord works in mysterious ways. I'm like, whoa, no, that's God too. Stand by your belief, dog. Don't back up. You know?
I mean, God did create Megan Good. However, God created a fucking Whoopi Goldberg.
That's terrible.
Okay. I'm just saying, God may work in mysterious ways, but goddamn, with every 10 out here, there's a fucking 3.5.
Stop.
Who should have been thrown in the fucking trash.
We gotta wrap up. We gotta wrap up.
Hold on. Mike's got a topic.
What?
You said what?
Cold Conscience got a topic. Send it his way.
Oh yeah, I mean it's kind of a topic. It's just not really a topic, but just something a little light, I guess. From now on, it seems like I'm gonna be taking the stairs from now on because motherfuckers is catching it in the elevators. So.
Oh yeah, boy.
Wait, what?
Between Ray Rice and fucking Jay-Z, oh lord, motherfuckers is catching it in the elevators.
Hold on. Actually, that's perfect. Because that was gonna be my parting shot. My parting shot was gonna be about this. So go ahead. We're gonna use you as a parting shot, and then everybody will just play off you. Go ahead.
Yeah, good lord, if anybody has seen, it seems like lately celebrities just love to fight in the fucking elevators. I like Ray Rice. He's a great running back. With him knocking the shit out of his wife, and allegedly, and with Jay-Z getting into a fight with Beyonce's sister, well, more of like I'm not gonna say she dominated the fucking fight, but that motherfucker, he's just getting his ass kicked. It seemed like it's just motherfuckers just catching the elevator. For now, I'm catching the stairs. I'm not taking the elevators no more. I had bad experience with the elevator.
Real quick, here's my parting shot on this topic.
Hold on, I can't see it. Oh.
That's a good part.
On that ass.
You should have called Chris Brown.
Hold on, guys. I actually have a parting shot for this, and It's not words. It's something I'm holding. Hold on. I'm gonna put my parting shot up right now.
Chris Brown locked down for a year, son.
Right.
That's right, baby. That's right. That's number 27 to y'all people. That's number 27.
Yeah, that's a double standard.
Just so you guys know, I got that jersey after the elevator incident. That's how much a fan I am.
With your wife, Dave, I understand, man.
Word, I ain't gonna deny that.
Bryce is all known for his big hits.
Hey, look, I just tell every.
My wife though is she's mad stabby. So even though I could get her, man, she could get me any day too.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, you know,
she
every girl I meet.
Cold conscience will admit my wife is well versed with weapons.
Yeah, I've been on
We've
the
been in an SUV when a freaking smoke bomb, freaking pepper spray went off.
Yeah, it's your wife has no regard for human life. It seems,
I like how
and
this
even
is a joke for you, Dave, and this ain't a joke for cold conscience.
Nah, dude, it's funny to me because here's the thing. I will admit, in that situation, I will take a quarter of that blame because I did instigate. I could have backed off and saved my fight for later.
Oh my God!
So I'll take a quarter of that blame because
this is when Now, I'm a new fucking driver, so you shouldn't be doing this shit in the back of a new fucking driver. And you know they're just going at it, and I just hear a spray, and we had the girl Michaela in the car, and she's just fucking laughing. I'm like, bitch, what are you laughing for? I'm like, you know that is pepper spray. I pulled the car over and I got out. It caught me a little bit though.
Tell the truth, he didn't pull that car over. That motherfucker hit on his brakes, and we all stepped out for a second.
Yeah. It was like in the middle of fucking traffic too, and he was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And I'm like, "Bro."
Oh, we almost died on the rail. It's only funny years later, because that day I wasn't laughing at all. I was laughing at the car. I wasn't laughing later on.
I mean, I had like my license for a good maybe 2 months, maybe a good 2 months, and these motherfuckers are just, oh Lord, have fucking mercy on my soul.
Just saying, man, I'm pretty damn protective of my car. So, if that shit ever happened to my car,
well, no. That isn't entirely true too, because my wife almost threw up in your car, son. But you were showing off.
No, that's understandable though. Spray doing that shit on purpose? No, that's a whooping.
For people, just to fill people in about why my wife almost threw up. Well, she wasn't my wife at the time. She was, what was that, like our first date, second date? Some shit like that, yeah. But Mr.
It says romance like throw up.
Mr. Alone in the Dark has this uncanny ability, which I doubted until we were in a war zone and he did it and we got banned from driving cars because of it.
I did it one time.
Yeah. Mr. Alone in the Dark has the ability to put a car on 2 wheels.
The side two.
Yeah, he's kind of good at it. Like, legitimately has done it enough times for me to say, well, he's done it more than once and I haven't rolled over or died. So he's good at it. But
you almost lose a gunner.
Yeah, the ladies didn't believe that it was possible. I forewarned them that was a bad thing to do. Let's say my wife threw up outside the car, after he eventually pulled over. You know, so
that's some Tennessee talent.
Well, yeah. When we were in Iraq, the same shit happened. It was one of those things where people are like, "Nah, that motherfucker can't put a Humvee on 2 wheels." I'm like, look, I beg you, fuckers. I understand why you feel that way. Just believe me when I say he can. We don't need to test this out. So, in the middle of a war zone, and I'm talking a war zone as in people had been shot in the area we were in where he did this, he proceeded to put the car on 2 wheels. When we got back to base, we got reported, we got banned, we never drove a truck out there again. You know, that kind of shit.
I like how they banned you too.
Yeah,
I'm in the back seat.
It got to the point when we were out there that we were kind of guilty by association. If he was getting punished for some shit, I somehow automatically caught it too. Or if I fucked up, he somehow automatically caught it too. So we we would get linking punishment a lot. Like when they gave it, they were giving the final speech before we left, the guy in charge, what's his name? Gunnery Sergeant Sandercock. When he gave his big speech, he didn't talk about one of us. He linked us in his speech as one person, just because we were always getting in shit together. Like shit always happened and we'd be together, you know. The day I drew the land in the sand and I got a hammer swung in my face and my tooth broke, you know, they asked you to explain what happened, even though you were barely not there. You were fighting someone else at the time.
Yeah, I was like fucking 20 yards away.
Yeah, and they still asked him what happened to me. That's just how linked we were back then.
That's good.
Yeah, I want to say it's the good old days, but I don't know, man. I gotta replace that tooth now, and it's expensive, so I don't know about good old days no more.
You still got the hand though.
Fuck you. We'll go into the hand story another time, guys.
So for my parting shot, I just want to say to Lange, thank you for finally having a hit.
That's terrible. Terrible. Mr. Slow Chemical, any parting shots?
I mix everything in one. If I see, I hate Mormons. I used to work with them. They're fuck faces. If I see a Mormon in the elevator, I'm gonna beat him. Then I'm gonna beat the Mormon. Then I'm gonna beat the Mormon and put like Gambit as Channing Tatum in the elevator too.
Hold on. Back away from the mic a little bit. Finish that last part.
There, man. You got too angry.
I'm gonna beat a Mormon that says they like Channing Tatum as Gambit in the side of the elevator. I'm done.
Well, that is all the Mormons in the world being threatened to be beaten like Gambit.
And any fan
played by Channing Tatum. Terrible choice, by the way.
Jesus Christ. We need to protest.
I agree. That was the saddest news I'd heard all year, man. Channing Tatum is Gambit. Channing Tatum is gonna play a French guy. Fuck out of here. Come on now.
He can't even play himself. Sit down.
Okay. All right. That's been Dare to Disagree, ladies and gentlemen. I hear babies crying in my neighborhood, so it's about time we wrap this thing up. I've been your host, Jonathan Esther.
This is my beautiful Alone in the Dark. Tune in next week, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh man, co-conscience out of an elevator. Jesus.
Calhoun out of a hot ass Baltimore.
Yeah, that heat wave is serious, isn't it?
Slow Chemical.
All right. And this has been Dare to Disagree.
You know,
another. Yeah?
You know, for every girl I meet, I'm just gonna show them that fucking Ray Rice video from now on. like, what do you like? Here's what I'm like if you fuck up enough.
God damn. That has been Dare to Disagree. We're off the air now. Thank you, guys. Have a good one. Don't listen to that last comment. Don't listen to it.
They can't see my face anyway. Fuck them.
Jesus.